Good morning, I'm Spandan, and today we're going to have the discussion for the brainstorming session for the IIP topic that we've got, Make in India versus Made in China. So please introduce yourself.
My name is Pranav Mani.
My name is Arish.
My name is Himagna.
My name is Abhishek.
My name is Kishan.
My name is Tejas.
My name is Adarsh.
Okay. So our topic is about Make in India versus Made in China. So Make in India is basically an initiative which was started by BJP government, and it's basically production of goods in our own country, and the employees also have to be Indian, so that the level of employment in our country increases and we don't have to export as much. And now Made in China is a very similar movement, very similar thing to Make in India.
It's kind of an initiative if you
Yes.
think about it. Means basically focuses on import-export problems and other problems like increasing employment in India. Because what are the major criteria of introducing this in Modi government was that we in India we obviously have a lack of employment, and also our GDP is not at that position that we can develop it more. We have to develop our GDP, the GDP of a country. So, and we know that most of the Indians use products made from China. Most of the Indian world, almost half of the world uses the products made from China. So that's what this is about. Modi government had this agenda that we have to make India better than the other countries, increase our import and export, and manufacture the products inside the country itself. So what this session is about, that we need some more ideas from you so that how we can say that Make in India is better than Made in China.
As of now, Make in India is basically a Swadeshi movement wherein the basic idea is to keep the dollar amongst the country itself. Similarly, Made in China is a similar process, but however, internationally people usually prefer buying Made in China goods. But nowadays, as the manufacturing, it basically Make in India covers all the 25 sectors in India. So that is the point, to make sure the dollar is in the country, to make sure there is more economic development.
So China is very similar to India. They also have a huge population, and they are also an amazing market like India is. But China, because of its Made in China campaign, they are the biggest manufacturing power in the world, and in every company throughout the world uses their products, manufacture products. And because India is similar to them, we are also trying to achieve the status that they have achieved and try to do it better.
I want to say is that the Make in India, which was introduced by the government, was to increase the research and the product development, so that the things which are imported from the other country can be locally made by the industries within our country, India. Like for example, the defense equipments, which was like some of the defense equipments which were imported from the other countries are now locally made in India after the Make in India initiative.
And I think one of the main reasons why Made in China is on a level above Make in India is because they have found a way to make things that have average quality, but are able to make them in a quite an inexpensive way.
Okay, so
Make in India focuses that the foreign companies come to India, open their companies, and employ the Indian citizens to it, so that the GDP can also grow, and the income tax which the company will give to the government, with the help of that, the infrastructure can also grow of our country, and there will be more employment for the citizens.
okay, I think that was a good introduction. Now let's discuss what points are there that we can make, that we can discuss for separating these two. Means Make in India one side and Made in China one side, and we have to form a conclusion.
I think Make in India focuses on making more durable and quality products as opposed to Made in China, because China produces mass products which are not of good quality and are not durable at all.
We have to compare the statistics of these two. So, any ideas or someone that how can we gain those statistics? How can we obtain those statistics?
So I feel like maybe what we can do is we can compare production, or we can compare the GDP of two countries since since Make in India and Made in China were introduced. So we can divide into three parts. One being before Make in India and Made in China were introduced. once around the 2 or 3 year span of Make in India and Made in China were introduced, and the present condition, wherein how the GDP has increased amongst both the countries, we can kind of compare the growth, and we can get an inference as to how well Make in India and how well Made in China is doing.
Yeah, Patanjali is also one of the making India products, but they are supplying FMCG products, so that they are going to economical growth only. There are many companies, but they are all small companies which are based on products, fashion products and beauty products. But we have to encourage them to widespread among the society and awareness to bring the Make in India.
So, so the thing about India is that where we have an advantage is that we can make a lot of products which can cater to the market that we have and the global market. For example, we have handicrafts that are very available in India and that are made, like skilled labor is required for it, and handicraft and textile companies are there. Then other vocational companies are there, or vocational industries are there, like small industries, which can contribute a lot towards this initiative.
Yeah, so what you wanted to say was that the IBA statistics that we will obtain from the internet, that's an annual statistical graph, will explain all these statistics, will explain everything, the employment, the income generated, the GDP generated and all. And also, we are planning to go for social media sites like LinkedIn and all to connect to other people, to connect to other media assets, so that we can gain more information about the same.
Also, we'll try to circulate a Google form among the people of VIT to make sure and to get the result as to make sure that we are not more inclined to the foreign products, and to make sure we are more inclined to the Indian products.
As we know that the infrastructure of the China is better than the infrastructure of the India, so now Make in India focus is on improving the infrastructure so that we can improving the infrastructure for the industries of the foreign companies to provide infrastructure includes road transportation, transport facilities, constant electricity supply, constant water supply.
As he said that the infrastructure of China is already very good, I think for India it will take some time to get at level with China. And most of all, as China is a communist country, anything like any permission to build a factory or manufacture is easily available to them. And for India, being a democratic country, it takes more time to get permissions and other activities.
On the other hand, I think even though China is a better manufacturing power, our market is much better and much more diverse, and it like any foreign company would first think of investing in India because of how diverse our market is. So if we can translate that to manufacturing, the money that we get, then I think that would be a solution. Now, coming to our topic or coming to our project, does anyone have any other ideas that we can use to add to the topic?
I think what we can do is, apart from getting GDP or economic statistics, we can also take employment levels, and ideally, if Make in India works and Make in India is working efficiently, the employment rate should reduce the unemployment rate should reduce as more people will be employed. So that's how we can also make an inference through statistics.
Statistical inference, including a Google form. But in the end, can we conclude the argument? Means, can we say anything in the conclusion, like how we can differentiate between these two countries considering all the
I
GDP
think
and
the only
employment
way we
issues?
can conclude is after we get statistics. After we get statistics, we can make an inference as to how well India is doing in Make in India and how well Made in China is doing in Made in China. Considering the fact that we know that it has already been said by you all that China has a better infrastructure, and since being a communist country, there are legal passes, a lot of loopholes which people can take advantage of. We have to make sure that we consider all those facts, we take all those indicators into consideration before we make a final inference, as it wouldn't give Made in China an edge over Make in India.